HOA. Karen's voice sliced through the hospital parking lot like a rusty blade, shrill and unrelenting, as she jabbed a pudgy finger at me. That baby's mine by right. You hear me? She screeched, her chins wobbling with self-righteous fury. I stood there, jaw tight, the weight of my newborn daughter's hospital release papers burning in my hand. After months of deployments, I'd come home to find my ex-wife's nosy neighbor, this self-appointed HOA tyrant, demanding custody of my kid. My kid. The one I'd fought for through courts, through sleepless nights, through every shred of legal proof that I, Lieutenant James Carter, Navy SEAL, was her sole guardian. Karen, all 300 pounds of her, loomed in her tacky floral muumuu, her eyes glinting with the kind of malice only someone who thrives on control could muster. She'd been the bane of our cul-de-sac since we moved in, reporting my late-night runs for disturbing the peace, finding my ex for unapproved mailbox colors. And now, this. She claimed my daughter, Lily, was better off with her because I, a single dad and active-duty SEAL, was unfit. Her evidence: a doctored photo of me at a bar from years ago and a petition signed by her book club cronies. The hospital security guard, a wiry guy named Mike, hovered nearby, his radio crackling. A nurse, still in her scrubs, lingered by the entrance, her eyes wide with disbelief. The air was thick with tension, the kind that makes your gut twist and your fists itch. I'd faced insurgents in Fallujah, but this was a different kind of war. Ma'am, I said, voice low, you've got no claim here. These custody orders are ironclad. I held up the papers, stamped and notarized, my daughter's future secured by a judge's ruling. Karen scoffed, her jowls trembling. Papers? I don't care about your papers. I know what's best for that child. You're a soldier, always gone, probably traumatized. What kind of father is that? Her words dripped with contempt, each syllable a jab at my service, my sacrifice. I took a step closer, my boots scuffing the asphalt. You don't know me, Karen, and you sure as hell don't know my daughter. Her eyes narrowed, and she pulled out her phone, brandishing it like a weapon. I've got proof you're unfit. I've been watching you. I've got photos, videos, your late-night jogs, your shady friends. I'll take this to court, and I'll win. The nurse gasped, clutching her clipboard. Mike, the guard, stepped forward, his hand on his radio. Ma'am, you need to calm down or leave. Calm down, Karen shrieked, her voice hitting a pitch that could shatter glass. This man's a danger. That baby needs a stable home, not some war-torn drifter. I felt the heat rising in my chest, the kind of anger I'd trained to suppress in combat. But this wasn't a battlefield. This was personal. You're out of line, Karen. You've been harassing my family for years. You think you can bully your way into my daughter's life. You're delusional. She smirked, undeterred. I've got connections. Soldier boy. My cousin's a lawyer. I'll bury you in legal fees. That baby's coming with me. That's when I saw red. Not the kind that makes you lose control, but the kind that sharpens your focus, like lining up a shot at 500 yards. I leaned in, my voice a controlled growl. You want to play dirty? Fine. Let's talk about your connections. Like the HOA funds you've been skimming for your Vegas trips. Or the forged signatures on that petition. Yeah, I've been watching you too. Her face froze, the smugness draining like air from a punctured tire. You're lying, she stammered. But her voice cracked, betraying her. Am I? I pulled out my own phone, scrolling to a photo I'd snapped last week. Karen slipping an envelope of cash to her maintenance guy behind the community clubhouse. Explain this to the board. Or the police. Mike's radio crackled again, and he spoke into it. His eyes locked on Karen. Yeah. Dispatch. We've got a situation in the parking lot. Possible harassment. Karen's bravado crumbled. She took a step back, her flip-flops slapping the pavement. You can't do this. I'm protecting that child. Protecting? I snapped. You've been terrorizing my family since before Lily was born. You called CPS on my ex for neglect because she planted roses without your approval. You tried to get my dog impounded for barking once. And now you're after my daughter. You're not a protector. You're a bully. The nurse stepped forward, her voice trembling but firm. I've seen you around. Ma'am. You've been asking questions about this man's baby, lurking near the maternity ward. It's not right. Karen's face turned purple, her mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. You're all against me. You'll see. I'll have my day in court. But the fight was draining from her. The crowd now, including a couple of curious onlookers from the hospital, stared, their murmurs a chorus of disapproval. Karen's reign of terror was unraveling, and she knew it. I held up the custody papers again, my voice steady. These say I'm Lily's father. The court says I'm her guardian. And I say you're done here. Mike nodded, stepping closer to Karen. Ma'am, you need to leave. Now. She sputtered, her hands flailing. This isn't over. You'll hear from my lawyer. But her voice lacked conviction, and she shuffled toward her car, her muumuu dragging on the ground. The crowd parted, their eyes cold. As her car peeled out, tires squealing, I exhaled, the tension easing from my shoulders. The nurse approached, her expression soft. I'm sorry you had to deal with that. Your daughter's lucky to have you. I nodded, grateful but exhausted. Thanks. Just want to get her home. The hospital doors slid open behind me, and a doctor emerged, wheeling a bassinet with my tiny Lily inside, swaddled in a pink blanket. Her eyes, barely open, met mine, and the world fell away. Karen's threats, her bluster, her pathetic power grab, they were nothing compared to this. But the story didn't end there. Karen, true to form, didn't slink away quietly. She filed a complaint with the HOA, claiming I'd threatened her. She posted a rant on the neighborhood Facebook group, painting herself as the victim. She even tried to sue me for defamation, citing my accusations about her shady dealings. What she didn't know was that I'd already contacted the HOA board. I'd sent them the photo of her cash exchange, along with a detailed log of her harassment dates, times, witnesses. The board launched an audit, and it didn't take long for the truth to surface. Karen had been pocketing HOA fees for years, funneling them into personal accounts. Her cousin, the lawyer, a paralegal who'd been disbarred for fraud. The lawsuit collapsed. The HOA board removed her as president, and the police opened an investigation into her finances. Last I heard, she'd sold her house and moved to a condo across town, her reputation in tatters. The neighborhood group chat buzzed with relief. Stories of her tyranny finally aired. As for me, I took Lily home. Our little house, once a battleground for Karen's petty rules, became a sanctuary. I hung a swing in the backyard, painted her nursery blue like the ocean I'd crossed to come back to her. Every night, I read to her stories of courage, of good triumphing over greed. Karen thought she could bully her way into my family, but she underestimated me. I wasn't just a SEAL. I was a father. And no Onino, HOA dictator. No self-righteous busybody was going to take my daughter from me. Lily's first word, months later, was Dada. It was worth every fight. The end.